This is why you still feel lonely, even around others. Picture this, you're at a party with some of your friends. You're smiling, you're practically the life of the party, and you're constantly surrounded by new people. But when you go home, lying alone in bed with your own thoughts, you can't shake this deep, empty feeling inside of you. You go to bed feeling like something is missing, but you can't exactly figure out what. The first realization I've made on my quest to understand this deep-seated loneliness was this. I never really belonged to myself. Now, what exactly does never belonging to yourself actually mean? In my life, never belonging to myself meant never living life on my own terms. Never making the decisions that I wanted to make. In social situations, I found myself wearing a mask, thinking that this mask would make others like me more. If I could be more into things like sports or politics, and less into things that I actually like, maybe I'd belong with others. But time and time again, whenever I reflected on the moments I felt the least lonely, one common element of these moments was this. I was being unapologetically and completely myself. Whenever we change ourselves for the sake of others, we're bound to be more agreeable and cordial with them, but it comes at the cost of our own authenticity. What I really like about this train of thought is that it shifts the antidote for loneliness from something that is outside of us, like the approval and acceptance of others, to something inside of us, giving us the ultimate control over how lonely we actually feel. Another benefit I've observed from being 100% who I am is this. It serves as the ultimate filter for the relationships I should or shouldn't be in. After deciding to be my authentic self, I started to attract people in my life who actually appreciated me for who I was, and detract from those who wouldn't. If I were to sum up how belonging to yourself can serve as an antidote to your loneliness, it really boils down to these two things. 1. Being able to live your life as authentically as possible, and making peace with the possibility that sometimes that may mean you'll have to stand alone. And 2, as a result of this authentic expression of yourself, attracting relationships that actually serve you, while filtering out those that will not. The second realization I've made about loneliness is that fear kills most of my opportunities for a connection. You ever find yourself sitting alone in your room, scrolling through social media, and thinking about hitting up that one person you really miss? You think about how great it would be for you guys to catch up and relive the old times. But quickly, these fearful thoughts start to come in. It's been so long, they're probably too busy to hang, or worse, I'm not worthy of their attention anymore. One thing I do to help me overcome this paralyzing fear is to remind myself that the world is filled with people who are afraid to make the first move. When I really sit down to reflect on this statement, I remind myself that every single human on this planet, at one point or another, has struggled with feelings of self-acceptance, insecurity, and loneliness. This fact alone makes it a lot easier for me to step up and become the person who makes the first move. More often than not, when I conquer my fear of making the first move and open up to these individuals about these fears, they more often than not have felt the same way. This really just goes to show that in the social media age, being cooped up in our rooms and only seeing people on our screens really makes us forget about our shared human experience. Brené Brown has this concept of loneliness being caused by us forgetting about this inextricable human connection. And in a less cosmic way, I do agree with this. I genuinely believe that we as humans are all connected, not necessarily by some higher power or cosmic force, but by our shared experience as human beings. We all struggle with belonging. We all struggle with the fear of rejection. And we all struggle with loneliness. However, I believe that if we can learn how to thoroughly belong to ourselves, while also conquering the fears that stop us from reaching out to others, that we as humans can break the cycle of loneliness. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far into the video, honestly, thank you so much. I know my channel is going through a bit of an identity crisis right now as I try to balance self-help, anime, and JRPG content, but just know that no matter what you watch from me, I guarantee you it will hit you in the feels. With such a small subscriber count right now, all I really want to do is experiment with my content and to experiment with things that I haven't really had the chance to experiment with. Talking to the camera face to face with you guys and really sharing some life lessons I've learned outside of the scope of anime and JRPGs is one of those things. And I really do appreciate some of you for sticking around and actually watching this content. Honestly, I'm super excited to post more videos on this channel, and I promise you There is more anime and JRPG content on the way, and there also will be content like this flowing in between. So if you guys really enjoyed this, feel free to smash that like button, subscribe, and tune in for the next video. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.
You get on their bad side and they'll destroy you.
No one would miss me.
That's not true.